everybody, and welcome back to episode number 3 of our ASMR Conspiracy Theory series. So yeah, this is episode number 3. We so far have covered the 1969 moon landing and the assassination of JFK. And today we've got a good one. I mean, I'm always going to say it's a good one. I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, we've got a terrible video today. But in terms of how convincing it is, I mean, I kind of believe the moon landing was fake. Not sure about JFK, but this one, I'm fully convinced. Anyways, as you can tell by the title, we are looking at some ancient Egyptian conspiracy theories. This was requested, so thank you very much for your comment, mate. I do read all the comments. I try to respond where I can as well, and leave a comment right now what conspiracy theories you'd like to see in the future. I will give a teaser. The next one is another one that's been requested, and it's an Area 51 video, and that'll be, hopefully, as long as I can find the material, quite a big one. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But yes, ancient Egypt, I reckon we get into it, but before we do, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and like the video. Cheers. So, I've got a couple of 2 or 3 different conspiracy theories, but one is like pretty big and has like different elements to it. We'll start off with a short one to get the ball rolling. So, conspiracy theory number 1. Ancient Egyptian civilization is actually 7,000 years old. So, basically, an ostrich egg was found in a tomb near Aswan that shows 3 triangular structures side by side. According to carbon dating methods, the human remains found in the same tomb were 7,000 years old. Therefore, it is reasonable to think that the objects found in that tomb, including the egg, were equally old. So the egg is 7,000 years old. This egg was found by British archaeologist Malaby Cecil Firth in 1907, and according to some researchers, it comes from the Nagada 1 culture, which is 7,000 years old. But here comes the crazy part. So on the egg is the depiction of the pyramids. However, the pyramids of Giza are widely believed to be 4,500 years old. So how on earth were they inscribed on such an old egg? This article says our history books might have been lying to us all along. So that's just a little one to get us started. That is certainly strange. I mean, it could possibly be different pyramids, I don't know, but yeah, that is a little bit strange. Conspiracy theory number 2 is that the Great Sphinx is actually 800,000 years old. Now, one of the most mysterious and enigmatic monuments on the surface of the planet is without a doubt the Great Sphinx at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. It is an ancient construction that has baffled researchers ever since its discovery. Now, 2 Ukrainian researchers have proposed a new provocative theory where the 2 scientists propose that the Great Sphinx of Egypt is around 800,000 years old. A revolutionary theory that is actually backed up by science. The authors of this paper are scientists. I'm going to give their names a go. Manashev Vyacheslav and Alexander G. Parkhamenko. Oh, that was a decent effort, to be fair. And they say that the mysterious structure is far older than the accepted claim that it was built during the reign of the pharaoh Khafra between 2558 and 2532 BC. Vyacheslav and Parkhamenko say evidence of water erosion at the monument of the Giza Plateau shows the monument was partially flooded. In a paper, they wrote, extensive geological literature confirms the existence of long-lived freshwater lakes in different periods of the Quaternary, from the lower Pleistocene to the Holocene. I'll clear that up in a second. These lakes were scattered over the areas bordering the Nile. They say the absolute marking of the upper large erosion cave of the Sphinx corresponds to the water surface level reached in the early Pleistocene. So the Pleistocene is a geologic time period which spans between 1 million and 780,000 years ago. So this means that the Great Egyptian Sphinx had thus already stood on the Giza Plateau at this geological or historical time. So to summarise, basically what they're saying is there's water erosion marks which correspond with how the water levels in that part of the land went down over time. I don't really know what to say to that because I'm not a geography expert, I'm not a geology expert, so wouldn't know much about that, but I thought I'd just throw that in there. Surely it can't be 800,000 years old. So now we move on to the big boys. Those two conspiracies were kind of like the warm-up act, and this is where it gets crazy. So strap in, guys. You're in for a ride. So the reason it's so big is because it involves aliens. You heard me, aliens. Aliens in ancient Egypt. Now, one thing I realised when I start a new point, I always say now. I go now, and now I've said it. I guarantee you notice it a whole lot more as well. So sorry. Anyways, a very infamous Swiss author, Erich von Däniken, is partly responsible for bringing the theory of the ancient astronauts, sometimes also called ancient aliens, to the mass consciousness. In his 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods, von Däniken suggested that thousands of years ago, life from another planet visited Earth and gave us the knowledge to advance as a civilization. He states that many religious texts refer to divine spirits coming from the sky above, therefore claims that this evidence suggests these beings descended to Earth and taught humans how to live and develop religion along with many other skills. Many ancient astronauts theories point to architectural masterpieces such as the pyramids of Giza and suggest they would be impossible to build without today's technological know-how. The ancient Egyptian pyramids of Giza are an impressive and spectacular feat. The largest stands almost 139 metres tall, thought to have been originally taller but have eroded over time. So this is like the main argument, that the pyramids are just too perfect for the time period in which they were made. There's one principal argument that proponents of the theory that alien life constructed the giant pharaoh tombs refer to. They say that it just wouldn't have been possible for humans to build them back then. I'm just sort of like repeating. The pyramids are over 400,000 years old, and back then engineering was relatively basic, and the task of assembling such huge polyhedrons was extraordinary. Take the Great Pyramid, for example. The largest of Giza's three structures and one of the seven wonders of the world. At nearly 500 feet tall, the thing is 756 feet long and on each side, and made up of more than 2.3 million stones. Each stone weighs nearly 3 tons each, so that's a total mass of over 6.5 million tons. 6.5 million tons. Even using the kind of construction equipment and technology available now in the present, that is a hugely intimidating project for anyone to undertake. Given the comparatively rudimentary tools and building know-how available back in 2560 BC, the job looks all but impossible to conceive for humans, especially for unskilled slaves, no matter how many of them were forced into labour. So this is just the sort of mainstream idea that they just had loads and loads of slaves Anyways, this is where it starts to get really interesting. The coincidence of the coordinates of the pyramids is just too incredible to believe. So the Great Pyramid's location is not insignificant. It is not insignificant. They weren't just randomly plonked in the sands of Egypt. Not only do the three buildings align almost perfectly with the stars in Orion's belt, they also have quite telling coordinates. The exact geographic coordinates for the Great Pyramid itself are 29.9792458. The speed of light is exactly 299,792,458 meters per second. Like what? Excuse me. Ancient alien researchers point to this as proof to their claims. Precision when it comes to measuring the speed of light was only honed by man in the 1950s. So the ancient Egyptians could not have known about it. What are the odds of that? That the Great Pyramids have the exact coordinates as the measurement of speed of light? Like that does not just happen. The pyramids also face the exact magnetic North Pole. So what? The Egyptians did this without a compass, did they? It absolutely blows my head, and I can't see there being aliens, but it's just why wouldn't they have come back by now? I hope I'm not sounding like a madman. Aliens are real, believe me. But anyways, the speed of light is central to the theory of time travel. Yes, we're going there. Central to the theory of time travel. The theory goes that the aliens from the future travelled back in time and built the pyramids at 29.9792458 on purpose as something of a clue, perhaps. No idea why they'd want to do that, but cheers aliens if that's true. Although technically it didn't really help us that much because it still took us ages to work out the speed of light. On the 31st, I've put this in at the end just like a little fun thing, but on the 31st of July 2020, SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk tweeted, "Aliens built the pyramids, obs." His confidence statement received well over 500,000 likes on the social media networking site. So, if Elon believes it, I bloody believe it. But yeah, that just absolutely scrambles my brain a bit. I think, not to sound like a bit over the top, but I genuinely think I got goosebumps when I read it the first time. I was like, oh, that's a bit dodgy, that. So to finish, I thought it would be interesting to take a look at some of the archaeological evidence, because it's all well and good these people coming up with these theories and, the speed of light and all of that. But let's take a look at some actual examples of archaeological evidence. So first we have Akhenaten's elongated skull, as you can see on screen now. Pretty dodgy looking. So Pharaoh Akhenaten's strange appearance has caused speculation from some ancient alien theorists that he could have been an extraterrestrial. Indeed, his appearance in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and statues is odd and very dissimilar from how other pharaohs were portrayed. He is shown as having an elongated skull, long neck, overweight midsection and breasts. While these features are quite similar to the typical Western depiction of aliens, other historians have argued that his odd appearance could have been due to a genetic disorder such as Marfan syndrome. Not Martian syndrome, Marfan. And, or he could have been transgendered. But he certainly looks like an alien if you ask me. Sorry mate, sorry if you've got any relatives watching. Probably shouldn't offend you like that. Respect the dead and that. Rest in peace, Akhenaten. Next, the Temple of Seti at Abydos has a hieroglyphic panel that bears symbols resembling the helicopter, spaceship and fighter jet planes. These hieroglyphic panels were made 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, when man had no idea about these modern day vehicles. So basically, aliens have come down and they've taught the Egyptians how to make pyramids. They've given us a clue to the speed of light, and they've given us teasers for what kind of technology we're going to have in the future. You heard it here first. This next one, we can see an Egyptian woman sitting with an alien-looking being in her lap in one of the hieroglyphic panels that has been recovered. Human structures can easily be made out in other hieroglyphics, hence it is obvious that the being in question is certainly not human but an alien. So what it's basically saying is, in other hieroglyphics the Egyptians knew how to carve what humans look like. So why not would they carve a thing looking like that? It's gotta be an alien, it's gotta be. Another work of hieroglyphic art depicts a flying object that is emitting some rays pointed towards an animal. This hieroglyph is concrete evidence that not only aliens exist, but they also have been abducting animals and humans since the ancient times. I'm just going to say I copied and pasted this from the website. It's not necessarily concrete evidence, although it is made in stone. And finally, we have the hieroglyphic depiction of the ancient light bulb, which makes it evident that ancient Egyptians had developed the technology of how to generate electricity and work with electric light bulb. The hieroglyph at the Dendera complex shows that with support from some super intelligent extraterrestrial support, ancient Egyptians had made such objects. So yeah, you can just about make out the light bulb there. Some weird looking things on there as well, but the Egyptians seem to create a lot of weird looking things in their hieroglyphics. So yeah, everybody, that does round up this episode of Conspiracy Theories. Are you convinced that aliens came and gave us some knowledge and helped us build the pyramids? I don't know, I'm sort of joking about it, but honestly it blows my brain, to be honest. Like, why would they go back then and not have come back by now, kind of thing, you know? Maybe they'll come, maybe coronavirus is alien made and they're gonna come down once we're all wiped out. I'm starting to sound absolutely mental, honestly. I'm starting to sound like, you know, in films where it's like the typical, like with aliens, and there's always like that crazy guy who's like, aliens are real, aliens are real. Obviously I have to do an American accent because it's always American. But you know, it's all just fun and games. Don't go unsubscribing, please. Yeah, it's just I like doing this kind of research and these kind of videos because, like, it's just a laugh, isn't it? There's people out there who, you know, will have dedicated their whole lives to proving this is real. But we don't know. And maybe we'll ever know. We'll never know, but maybe it's more fun that way. But anyways, everybody, I really appreciate you stopping by and watching this video. Apologies if it's a little on the short side. I promise the next Conspiracy Theories video will be longer as we dive into the details and mystery around Area 51. So that should be a lot of fun. If that sounds like something you're interested in, leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.